Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to the Cold War era, arms race, the Cold War era. In our last episode, we were able to lure both Spain and Portugal into our orbit, and we were also able to conduct the first landing on the moon, so we won ever so narrowly the race to the moon for our space program. And playing as the easy game difficulty, the end objective is to get to the moon before the Soviets and to get to the end of the space race before the Soviets. So far, so good on that ground, but we still have further to go. In addition to that, we've also begun trying to lure Yugoslavia and Greece into our orbit. We're winning pretty handily in the alliance game. We've brought Italy, the Low Countries, Spain, Portugal, Norway, and Israel all into our influence. The Soviets have won over Ireland and a couple of African countries, so they're on the board, but we do have a relatively healthy lead in that regard. With that being said, this was taken from a live stream from a couple of days ago, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to that live stream, and I'll catch you guys up the end. But I hope you guys are enjoying the series and this episode, and until then, let's get into it. You know, more support in Greece. Where can I... Oh, I don't have a diplomat. That's a good reason. New red government in the Congo. Actually, Turkey's the closest to joining us. Brazil? Ah, shit. Brazil, and their score is worth 3. What do the Soviets have deployed there? We've got to win this war in Brazil. We have no choice. We've got to support the government there. We've got to deploy as many military forces as we can to Brazil. The USSR just lands its first object on the moon. I guess we're ahead of them there. Conflict-wise... Right. So we'll try and gain... Actually, what I may do is I may try and get support here, local support here high enough so we can turn the government to our side. Got a ways to go to be able to do that, but we'll work on it. Meanwhile, Turkey still need more support there. We're almost to the opposition level, just not the support level. Oh shit, money. We'll just pour it all into the economy, because the economy's down a bit this year. I'm gonna see if I can win in this war without getting the local support up much higher. American satellite does flyby in Venus. Afghanistan, damn it! Ah! What's the military situation? 52% for them? What if we do this? Still 52%? Really could have gone the military route and just invested everything in the military. How's the economy doing? We're still doing bad. All right, invest everything in the economy. Try and save it. Because, again, we can't afford to... Wait, what just happened now? Is there another... Egypt just went to the Soviets. Ah, the tide is turning. God damn it. Local government just frickin' win. Investing all these resources in Brazil. Really need you guys to come through here. Come on. Crush the Soviets. Man, this space race is tight. I don't want to invest any more money in a support parade in Brazil if I don't have to. Venezuela is now communist. You know, the funny thing is, Brazil being worth 3, and I didn't even think about them. Potential country to go to. Alright, we got the economy back on track. Slightly, anyway. We're going to invest everything in the economy again. Shit. Brazil looks like it's going to be... This might be our Vietnam. Although the enemy's down to 1 star as well, and I think that's because we've turned the populace on them with the support of the government increasing substantially. But they're down to 1 star, we're at 2, but they have a slight advantage in terms of military power. Don't overthrow them! No! Fuck, we just wasted all that military strength. And now Turkey's in a civil war. God damn it, we can't... I can't fight everywhere at once. And I'm not producing enough military units to really do it. I'm not gonna send forces in for what is a for sure doomed effort. They've caught up to us in terms of... I guess the good thing is here now I can start undermining some of these countries. So it shouldn't be too hard to start another rebellion in Turkey. Their support for us is over 80. We just need to riot the hell out of them. We've got a bunch of spies in place. It's the same, frankly, for Brazil. What's this? Ethiopian Forestall. Alright, so we're hitting the Soviets' budget and influence in African countries. Of course, they're going to launch another revolution. I have no desire to fight them there. Alright, so... let's do another What's going on in Norway? Discredit the Soviet ambassador? Yeah, sure. Whatever. Investing everything in the economy. Kind of a delicate balancing act at this point. Rise of the Ayatollah. Plus 30 US influence, plus 30 neutral influence, plus 20 opposition in Iran. Minus 200 to the Soviet budget. Okay. Alright, let's see if we can turn Iran to us. They're a 2 score. Oh, we need more spies in. Alright, so Iran has enough opposition for us to try and turn them against government. Oh shit, we just set off a war. Alright, I just quickly deployed a whole bunch of forces to Iran. Soviets have, like, a shit ton of troops there. So they're now blue. We've turned Iran to our side. Now we need to win the war, which looks increasingly difficult. With that massive 62% to 80 or whatever. Meanwhile, our economy is in trouble. Our spare cash here is decreasing year over year. There's also a war going on in Angola? No, but it's close. Come on, Soviets, you can't fight everywhere at once, right? Support the new American-led leader in Iran. Do it! Do it now! What's this? BGB versus CIA. Okay. Are we winning the space race or losing? It looks like we're pretty much tied. Which ain't great, frankly. Alright, we're continuing to invest heavily in the economy rather than anything else, just to keep us afloat. We're about to start a rebellion in Turkey as well, which according to this has full Soviet support, so that may be dicey. Alright, support parade in Iran. Iran should be a victory for us now. Turkey's the challenge here. So we've started a revolution in Turkey as well. So now there are wars going on in Iran and Turkey. I think we're about to win in Iran. I'm hoping we're about to win in Iran. We're behind in military in Turkey, though. There you go. We've won the war in Iran. So that's +2 score for us. We now have the Turkish government on our side as well, which increases our score. You can see the Soviets have gained a lot elsewhere, though. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, the space race continues. Try and get the people on our side. Although the war does not look like it's going great. See, we're about to lose all of our military forces here. New Soviet government is in place in Angola. Trying to hang in there. Maybe the population will come to our side. Tide may be turning in Turkey here if we look at this. Meanwhile, global influence, we're about even with the Soviets. Turkey's the only ongoing war at the moment. After this one, I think we need to... I didn't realize Yugoslavia turned for them. Peru... South America is largely Soviet. That's... If I was an American, that would be concerning. can see here, we've kind of worn some of their support down. We're also investing literally every last military unit that we have to Turkey. But we're staying committed to them. And there you go. The year's over. The budget's still in the red by a little bit, so we're going to have to continue investing every dollar into the economy just to keep it chugging along. Meanwhile, that should finish off Turkey as a firm ally as well. There you go. Victory in Turkey. Victory. All right, so trying to extend this Iron Curtain here. I was trying to work on Greece as sort of the next logical step in diplomatic game. They're only worth 1 point, though. But they would kind of build on this southern front strategy. Going to need a few more months here to get their local support up a bit, but it'll give me time to rebuild my military as well. Meanwhile, the Soviets are still behind on the space. Well, actually, they just took the lead. They just did the Buran spacecraft, I think, because we're working on the space shuttle. Damn. Meanwhile, our economy is dangerously sliding down. We're below 3,000. I can write that ship here with our last budget going entirely into the economy. But I'm worried all I'm doing is stemming the tide rather than this. Okay. Start building that opposition. The economy's back in the black here. Soviet economy's declining. I'm wondering if they might get a crisis at the elites soon. That'd be great if they did. Again, with that, now that we're back in the black here, we get our economy chugging up and avoiding the crisis of the elites. I'm just hoping we can drive the Soviet economy into the ground before they win the space race. Do that, I think that'll be great. I'm also going to max out the Greek military here to be as ready as possible for any potential Soviet interference as we try and turn Greece to our side. Still trying to catch up on the... Damn it, the Soviets landed on Mars. Is this Mars? Not sure, but we just did the next level. Hey, Greece turned to our side. I didn't even press a button, did I? Alright. Do a support parade, then. I guess they came to their senses before we had to do anything. In any event, thank you, Greece. Alright, so Greece brings us to within 1 point. Meanwhile, what's this? Economic boost. Plus 300 to USSR, minus 300 to the US. God damn. That's bad. Alright. Let's invest in espionage in Brazil. We're going to invest a whole bunch. Soviet economy is still tanking here. They're declining. You can see their budget is getting ever closer to 2,000, so we just got to hang in there long enough for their economy to crater. Again, if they hit 2,000, it'll probably be game over, realistically. Because they'll have to start completely over on expenditures. So one must hope that they continue on their current path. Another year or two should get them there, and I think that'll happen before they're able to get where they need to go on space development. Okay, we need just 2 or 3 more months to get the government on our side. Then we need to pour in massive military resources into Brazil. And maybe we'll bankrupt the Soviets doing it. It'll also be a 6-point swing, because if we get them, we'll get 3, which will bring us to 42, to bring the Soviets down to 37 score. Should be great. Soviet government. And immediately pour in all reserves. Meanwhile, start a campaign to win the people over. We don't have a lot in reserve here for the military, though. And this does pose a substantial underdog situation for our military forces. But we'll see if, through support parades, we can win the war against the Soviets. Next year is over. The Soviet economy... Going to continue investing everything in the economy. Soviets did see a little bit of an uptick in the economy last turn, so that's a little concerning. That's actually substantially concerning. I was hoping their economy would go into the tank and allow us to just win by default, but that doesn't look like it's happening. But at the very least, we've taken the lead in terms of points. Which you can see the Soviet military strength in Brazil is rapidly declining. And I think, I'm not sure, I've read through the rules, but I don't remember what it says about support in war. But I think that's influenced by, you can see as the support has gone up, their military strength has gone down relative. But I also think that it does play a role in how many troops they can field. If their support decreases in a country, I think the number of troops they can field decreases, but I'm just making some assumptions. I could be wrong. We've almost got them above 80. You can see our own military strength is waning as well. But not as quickly as the Soviets. Develop state-of-the-art life support, which is the next level of ground facilities. Meanwhile, our launchers are about to outstrip our... That's concerning, actually. So our launchers are about to outstrip our ground facilities. Where's our economy at? Negative 50. Soviet economy is climbing back up, so they've obviously balanced their budget. Let's slow the pace of our launcher development. Not gonna happen. We're gonna grade out here in the launchers, which is gonna reset this to 0 before we can. The way this game handles space races is a little bit frustrating sometimes. All right, so we should be just about to win the war in Brazil. I don't want to spend any more money sending troops to Brazil, because I think we're about to win. We'll do a support parade, really, just to kind of put the nail in the coffin of local support for the communists. Really don't want to put more troops in there if I don't have to. Get down to 0. There we go. And there you go. Launchers reset to 0 until we get to this next level. Now, the good thing is for our budget, that'll really help. Because it'll cut the amount that we're spending by 8. So, there you go. Our budget's now balanced. That's good, at least, I guess. How's the Soviet budget doing? Wow, they really did balance their budget for what they spent it all on. Alright, 2 into the economy, 1 into the space race. Brazil is ours. Does give us the lead in the game. Massive flood is affecting Pakistan. I guess we can try and go for influence in India. They're a score of 4, so... The Indochina War is finally broken out here. I have no desire to fight that thing. I have no desire to fight Indochina. Their score is worth 1. Have them, Soviets. My focus is on India. And their large military. I mean, you could try and overthrow the government there. I can't deploy troops into the Soviet Union. I could focus on their opposition. Try and increase the support for the opposition in the Soviet Union. try and actually increase support in Pakistan as well. Maybe we can win them both as allies. Meanwhile, the economy is back into the black, into the red. Guess we'll invest all of it in the economy again. Next level of space launch facilities should be completed here, and then we'll be on our way to the next level. Actually, we're equal to the Soviets in ground facilities. We're well ahead of them in launchers, though, so that makes me wonder if they balance their budget by cutting their space program. Not really sure. I don't have visibility into any of it. I didn't realize India was worth 4 points. I would have been going for them heavy earlier in the game if I had known that. I guess I should have thought that. Sort of the head of the non-aligned groups, too. Or start supporting riots in the Soviet Union, maybe turn them against their own government. Yes, we'll support the local government in Israel. Negative 40. Let's see what the economy does in 1985. $38. We're back into the black. All right, we'll go ahead and spend all of our money there. Where are we at right now with the space facilities? Another 50 months or so before we're going to be... All right, we're almost ready. Almost ready to turn India to our side. We'll need several months here to turn the populace against the local government. Hey, Afghanistan just turned to our side. We didn't have to do anything. They just overthrew their government. And of course now they want military aid. God damn it. Alright, we'll pour troops into Afghanistan. What's this? Plus 30 nationalist influence in American allies in Europe. -5 global influence for the US. I don't know if that matters yet. Most of these countries are heavily in on our side. With the exception of England. What the fuck? Alright. I spent all that massive cachet I had of diplomatic points. Alright. How are we doing on the economy? Here we go. Saudi Arabia is now having a revolution, which I'm not going to pour troops into that fight. Interestingly enough, the Mideast is only worth 1. So the Saudi Arabians have become enemies. Or, I guess, they have the Saudi flag, but it's the whole it is really just Saudi. It's the whole Middle East, really. Alright, Afghanistan. You joined us because you love us. So we'll fund a support parade in your country. Meanwhile, the Soviets have been kicked out of Afghanistan, so we're building that iron curtain around the Soviets here from Europe through to Greece and Turkey and Iran, Afghanistan. If we can win over Pakistan and India, it'll extend further east. Of course, they have kind of gotten in behind us with the Middle East and pretty much all of Africa. Almost all of South America as well. Another conflict. More Soviet troops have entered Afghanistan. But right now the government forces should be strong enough to resist most enemy efforts to overthrow. Supporting some riots there. We'll have to probably pour a good deal of military troops into Pakistan. I'd like to avoid doing that if we can. Alright, how's the economy? Continue investing in the economy. The Soviets, I don't know, it's like they're not spending their money or something. What's this? Tiananmen tanks, plus 30 USSR influence in China, minus 20 opposition in the Soviet alliance. Go ahead and send some support to the Afghan government there. I think the issue is the Soviet support is above ours. Oh, actually, no. I guess it's because the opposition level's so high. Why they are able to continue pouring in troops. So we need to get that opposition level above 20, or support level above 20. Meanwhile, new government in India. All right, and there you have it. The Cold War progresses, and while the Soviets made a lot of progress over the last couple of episodes, we have also kept ahead of them and kept pace with them. So far, so good. Our budget is quite a ways behind the Soviets, but in this episode we won India over. We also gained Afghanistan through a conflict and a civil war there. We're in the process of bringing Pakistan into our alliance. The war seems to be going really well. The Cold War seems to be going very well for us. The main concern is budget and keeping above the crisis of the elites, but we've got 1,000-point leeway there. So all in all, things are going really well for us with a very healthy lead and also leading the space race. So I guess, with that being said, that's not really much else to say. The fact that we could bring India into our sphere of influence, I think, was a pretty big win here. It's a 4-point country, almost as valuable as the United States. So all in all, the Cold War's going well, and we'll look to pick this up here in our next episode. But until then, I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Leave your thoughts below as always. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.